Welcome to this Farming Simulator 22 map tour with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on Greenwood Forest by AE Maping. This is in the Maps I Missed series. This came out the same day as Gatehead Farm when I was away on my trip. So, I'm going back retrospectively and mopping up maps, as you've probably already seen on the series so far. So, Greenwood Forest, what's it all about? Well, I'm starting here at our start farm, I guess. This is predominantly a forestry map, however it does have some fields. Contracts are available. There are a few small fields dotted around the map that have contracts on them. They're not very big, so they don't pay out very much money. There are no custom crops on here. Now, there are two different slot counts we can talk about here, because this does say in the description, information, platinum expansion is required. But it does say those who do not have the Platinum Expansion DLC will not be able to benefit from some features, which is no different to any map. Any map that's got those abilities on, or if you have Platinum Expansion turned on, you've got all of the extra bells and whistles that go with the sawmills and all the wood production. That's no different on here. So if you come on here without Platinum Expansion, the slot count is 813. You start with all this equipment and machinery that's here. You'll see as we go around. The difference between that and with the Platinum Expansion, 813 up to 854, and that's because with Platinum Expansion on one of the plots of land you've got some extra productions that without Platinum Expansion aren't there. That will make sense as we go around, I'll explain. Now, if you remove all of the equipment and machinery, if you want to do that, because on all three game modes the slot counts are the same, whether it be with or without Platinum Expansion, the slot counts are the same. But if you remove all the equipment and machinery, I got it down to 727. That was with Platinum Expansion. Without, you can probably get it even lower than that. That being said, the map looks... I know it's complicated. It'll make more sense if we go in. The map looks like this, and it has an issue. I'm going to tell you straight off the bat. Now, it depends how you play the game. Will depend whether you have an issue or not. So, we start with a new farmer, plot 1. It's a big plot, and the plot is 4,549,960. Very nice. That's on new farmer. On farm manager and start from scratch, you don't own any land. What you do also start with on new farmer is this plot down here. This is plot 8. 73,800, and as you can see that has got all those productions I was talking about. Now if you come onto here without Platinum Expansion, you only have two of them. You will have carpentry and sawmill. With Platinum Expansion there are 5, which adds in some extra ones again we'll see later on. If we go back to our plots and what they cost, the smallest cheapest plot is that one there, but there's no forestry on it. So the problem arises when you come onto your own farm manager and start from scratch, because obviously you don't own any land. On Farm Manager, you'll have 1.5 million. Start from scratch, 500,000, isn't it? So that plot there is 1.6. That's more than you start with. That one's 2.8. That one's 3.4. That one's 2.9. That one's 1.7. And that one's 3.3. So on Farm Manager and Start from scratch, you won't have enough money to buy any land other than the plot there, which doesn't have any forestry on it. Now, like I said, there are contracts available, because as you can see, we've got some small fields dotted around. But the contracts, let's go down to the contracts page. There we go. 550, 1,174. If you're going to build up your money to buy a plot of land doing contracts, you're going to be there quite a while. So new farmer, realistically, unless you're going to cheat money. Like I say, it depends how you play the game. If you're going to look at that and go, oh, well, that's no problem at all. I'm just going to put a load of government subsidy signs in. Or I'll go on multiplayer and I'll set up multiple farms, then combine them together. I'll have a load of money. We'll just go for it. That's fine. Absolutely. However you want to go about it is fine. But if you were saying, you know, I'm a die-hard gamer, I want to come on here, I want to do it on hard mode, I'm going to come on here and start from scratch, yeah, it's going to be virtually impossible. Because also, all the equipment and machinery up here, you don't own the land on farm manager and start from scratch. So even if you sell the equipment which you own, you can't sell the buildings. So yeah, there's a lot going on with this. But with that cleared up, let's carry on, shall we? So, up here at our start farm, and this is what I was going to say. Unlike most forestry maps, where you'll start with a bit of forestry equipment, it depends how harsh the map maker is going to be with you. You do actually start with a few bits of equipment and machinery. You do start with some normal farming equipment, which normally on a farming map you don't... A forestry map you don't tend to have a lot of farming equipment. So we have got a nice mixture of actual farming equipment, including stump grinder, log trailer we've got. But weirdly, we don't actually have anything for harvesting, so you'd have to buy yourself a chainsaw. We don't have a rotner or anything like that to be getting on with. We've got our ploughs and cultivators and seeder over here. We've got our sleep trigger, which is a platinum. That is a platinum one, isn't it? I think it is. Platinum expansion. We have got 150,000 litre silo just here. This is a standard crop type silo. We do have a trailer tucked away just in here. One thing I haven't tried to do is sell the buildings. That's a good point. But we can put this. This is one of the ones. This is one of the required mods. Did I mention the required mods? There are 4 required mods. I didn't, did I? There are 4 required mods which download automatically, and this is one of them. Like I say, standard crop type, 150,000 litre silo. Putting into the silo, taking out the silo is done just there. We don't have any animal pens off the start or anything like that. We come over to here. Open, there we go. So tucked away in here, small Massey. Through the doorway, slightly larger Massey. Both of these front loaders and log grabs, with the fent there as well. So like I say, we have a fair bit of stuff to be getting on with. I'm going to try, let's see if we can go into build mode. Will it allow me to? Yeah, I can sell the garages and sheds I want top here. Once owned the land. So that slot count when I said 727, that was just removing the vehicles and machinery. That wasn't removing the buildings. So if you wanted to remove all of this completely, you can get the slot count down even lower than that. Let's get around and have a look at. Well, no, we're not going to go around the whole map because again, let's come back to here. A lot of this out here is all just forestry with the odd little field dotting about. What is nice as well though, there's a nice mixture of dense forestry. We've got some more open forestry. And then these areas here, which is more kind of agroforestry, land that you could straight away plough and get on with without too much work. The only problem being with this bit here, this one is obviously far less densely packed. You've got this area here, which is a bit more open as well. You'll see when we get out there, you know, it's glaringly obvious the areas that are a bit, but they are expensive to purchase. So, you know, again, it depends how you want to go about playing the game. That's what it all comes down to. And that's the same with every map, to be fair. How do you want to play it? What are you prepared to do? Are you the sort of person that will go on and put in government subsidy signs, set up a map so it's how you want it ready to go, then take all the signs away, take all the extra money away, and then you're ready to start playing? That may be how you go about it. It might be that you just come on immediately. Right, where's the track I need? It's a bit further over, isn't it? Behind this one? I think it is. I'm just going to do a loop round past one of the fields. What I will say as well, though, I know forestry's not everyone's cup of tea. I do like a pioneering style map. I do like that. The good thing is with these open areas as well, and you'll see as we get to a couple of them, the sweep of the map is majestic. I think that's the best way of putting it. There's huge, sweeping, rolling expanses. The ability to just be able to go onto a section like that, get a plough and start ploughing out the land, you're forging it yourself out of nothing. But then there is also the ability, again, with plenty of mods in the mods hub, mulchers and various different tree removal items, that removing trees fairly quickly it's not too laborious a project. Which is something, thinking ahead to FS25, it's that point we're always at. We're 3 years into a cycle with FS22, with thousands of mods, hundreds of maps, all of the stuff. Everyone will have their own selection of mods that they will use on whichever Let's Play they're on. Their go-tos, their fallback mods. If you're doing forestry, you will use this, this and this. You know, some people will always try other things. Here's our start field. The land here is not straightforward. It's steep, it's hilly. So if you're going to do forestry or farming, it's not going to be, you know, straightforward. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. But yeah, so we're going from that cycle into FS25 release, and don't get me wrong, there's a ton of stuff off the start to be getting on with. But all those little clever bits and bobs, all those excuse me, all those mods that you have that make your life easier, you won't have when the game releases. So it's that thing of everything gets zeroed, doesn't it? So I'm just doing a sweep around this loop. Like I say, we're not driving around the entire map. we are going to go predominantly to the sell points and points of interest. But I just wanted to there may be some bits I've missed. I don't think there's any collectibles. It doesn't mention them. And I did have a look in the this is what I'm puzzled with. This says various production and sale points. I am so sorry. I cannot stop coughing today. I don't know if you can tell, I'm a bit nasally, a bit bunged up. Here it says octagonal buildings. I'm trying to think where I've seen an octagonal building. That's it's a curious thing to have in there as a feature, but anyway. Under build mode, there is nothing added in over and above the 4 required mods. So anything in the build mode, it's all standard stuff, and obviously if you've got the platinum expansion, there'll be all the platinum expansion things that brings, but nothing added in over and above those. So that's why I didn't show it, but I thought I'd better mention it. I've gone completely out of sequence, haven't I? Completely out of sequence today. I said it AE mapping. Did I say 94.06 megabytes download? Not a huge download either. So we're going to sweep round. To our right on the map, you can see bottom left. To our right, we've got this rock face, huge sort of escarpment type rock face. I did look on the map initially and thinking maybe it was a quarry, but it's not. It's a huge rock face. I'm going to take a bit of a sweep out here, and again, you'll see this, the lie of the land, the way it rolls. And there are some rocky bits here and there, fields here and there. We're going to go out on this bit here. Is it a promontory? Promontory? Is that what it's called? Maybe not. Maybe I'm making up words again, potentially. I mean, you'll see behind us that rock face. Look at it. That's quite imposing. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Is there something on the... Let me just throw the drone up. I know how much that irritates people. Oh no, it's just a bit of shadow. It looked like there was something on the rock face. I thought, oh, what is that? Looks like there's something there. No, as far as I can tell, it's just a rock face. Yeah, it might just be a shadow, I think. But it is quite imposing. And then when we come over the top of this bit here, you can see this bit here is that real open land. So you could plough this and have fair-sized fields without touching any trees at all. But if trees are not your thing, there aren't that many to remove on this section, which is pretty cool. But if forestry is your thing and you like to do multiplayer forestry and stuff like that, there's no shortage of it. You're not going to have a problem. So we're going to cut across. There are tracks and stuff that wind their way across the map. But what I am going to do is I'm going to cut straight across because it's nice and open. I've got plenty of room. I'm going to head across this next track over here. Head down to that plot 8 that's got the productions on. Now, that in itself, again, is a curious one. Because it says platinum expansion is required. Now, obviously, it's allowing for the fact that people won't have platinum expansion. So the sawmill and the carpentry that are standard on the map if you don't have platinum expansion are just standard sawmill and standard carpentry. However, with platinum expansion on, that plot of land has the extra things on there which require a platinum expansion sawmill, which you don't start with. So you'd have to put in another sawmill anyway if you're coming on here with the platinum expansion. So it's again, it's a kind of, it's an odd one. They're allowing for the fact people don't have platinum expansion, and I guess if you have got it, you'll just come on here, remove that one, and then put on one that does. I guess that would make more sense. I'm coming completely the wrong way. I didn't go far enough over. Oh, we'll get to see another field on our way. We're going to sweep round and across that direction. There we go. That's where we're heading, just over there. So yeah, it was interesting because I went on and suddenly thought, hang on a minute, these productions need this and this. There's no biogas plant on the map either. If that's the sort of thing you want to do, you might want to have a large open space to a load of grass fields, and you might want to do silage work. You might want to put animal pens on. There are plenty of. It's not all sweeping hills, as you can see. There's a nice, huge flat area out here. So if you want to have your livestock stuff here, or you want to have it further up in the hills, flatten some areas out, it's not a problem. You can do anything you want to do. So it's one of those ones, it's a kind of, this is a start point and you can make it what you want from here. So this is the sawmill, and like I said, this is a standard one. And if you on New Farmer and you buy this plot of land for, what was it, 78,000, you get all of these productions anyway. Farm management start from scratch, you'd have to buy this plot, but then you still get them, so you haven't got to buy them on top of. So this is a standard sawmill. This is one of the required mods. I think this one by Happy Mole. So yeah, this is just wood in, planks and wood chips out. Which then if I go to the next production along, which is one of the Platinum expansions, straight away you go into pet accessories. The pet accessories requires planks long, which that sawmill doesn't do. So you would have to put another sawmill on anyway. Obviously you need wool here as well. So you'd have to do sheep as well if you can do the pet accessories. Just across the way here, we've got our flooring factory. So again, planks long and planks required. So you could do the planks, but you still need planks long. And there are other sawmills. You don't have to have the Platinum expansion ones. There are loads of modded ones that do various different things as well. It's just whether they're all compatible. Furniture factory, just over here, Platinum expansion. Carpentry, and this is your standard one. So for doing your furniture, this is the standard. So these are the two that you would start with: the carpentry and the sawmill. If you didn't have the Platinum expansion, and then we've got a nice little shed over there for the storing of equipment, machinery, pallets, whatever you want. Now, the other thing I was going to double check was, yeah. So we could remove it if we want to. Actually, can we remove? You can. The problem is sometimes on maps when I do map tours, you can if you remove a production, you sell it, and so you've sold it, but it stays there, so you can go back and buy it again. Sometimes you sell it and it disappears completely. Sometimes you sell it, it's gone, but the building remains and you can't rebuy it. You have to be so careful. So my advice, as always, if you're going to do anything related to selling, removing, landscaping, save your game first, because if it doesn't do what you're expecting it to, you can get caught out. So just better that way, I think. So we're going to follow this track, which brings us down to the southwest of the map, and this is where all our sell points and stuff are, and which is, again, for most forestry maps, and I'm saying most, not all, most forestry maps, we've got a lot of sell points, a lot of productions on here. Most of them are more, I was going to say primitive, that's not the word, basic, I guess, in that you might just have a sell point, you might have a sawmill, and then you've got to forge a path. This has got a lot of sell points and stuff on it. So as far as it goes with actually starting out and being able to do anything as a jumping off point, it kind of works. So this is the South Valley Biomass Energy sell point. Next door we've got Johnson's Farmers Market, just there, with a sell point around the back of the building. Next door to that we have got Red Marble, well no we haven't, we've got the Animal Dealer next. Animal Dealer sell point just there for bales, etc. And the Animal Dealer is around this side, just here. Just across the way there, we've got a fence in the way, don't think we have. We've got the Red Marble Bowl and the Grocery Mart sell point. So Red Marble Bowl is here, and then the Grocery Mart I think is around the front. Slightly different buildings to what we are used to. There you go, just there. So that's Red Marble Bowl and Grocery Mart. Sorry. Just here we've got the vehicle shop with workshop trigger. This is also the reset point on the map, so if we need to reset it, this is where it's going to be. Right back here. And then finally we have got the gas station just there. And we have got Feed and Grain South just here. And there you have it. Let's go back to the main map. So, like I say, most of this is clustered down the bottom here. If we jump in there, go north a little bit. So, like I say, there's different densities of woodland. It depends. See, it's a lot thicker and denser here. And then you've got the open bits you've already seen. Fields dotted around all over the place. So, it's a blend of everything. It gives you the ability to do. I mean, off the start, you can just crack straight along. You've got a small field, you can get on with it on New Farmer, build up your farm, add livestock, do whatever. Like I say, it is a jumping off point, I think, more than anything else. And I did miss it, so now I've done it. That's Greenwood Forest by AE Maping. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.